X-Men 2 or X2, X-Men United, is hailed as one of the better superhero sequels, a triumph of action and character development in the ever-expanding world of Marvel's mutants. However, beneath its shiny surface, this 2003 film is a hilariously convoluted and illogical mess that tries to juggle too many plot lines, characters, and dramatic slow-motion shots. If you've ever wondered why this supposed blockbuster is actually a hilarious train wreck of a movie, strap in for a ride through the bizarre, the bewildering, and the outright bonkers world of X-Men 2. The plot of X-Men 2 is like trying to untangle a ball of yarn while riding a roller coaster. It kicks off with Nightcrawler, a blue-skinned, teleporting mutant, attempting to assassinate the President of the United States. Why? Because nothing says complex character motivation like randomly trying to off the leader of the free world. This sets off a chain of events that involves government conspiracies, mutant genocide plans, and more betrayals than a season finale of a soap opera. The story then meanders through a series of increasingly baffling events, from Wolverine trying to uncover his past at the hands of the villainous William Stryker to Magneto and Mystique doing whatever it is they do when they're not being fabulously evil. By the time the movie reaches its climax with an epic showdown at Stryker's secret base, you're less concerned about the fate of the mutants and more impressed by how many plot twists and character arcs they managed to cram into one film. The characters in X-Men 2 are a delightful mix of over-the-top performances and nonsensical motivations, navigating the plot with all the subtlety of a bull in a china shop. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is supposed to be the gruff anti-hero with a heart of gold, but he spends most of the movie looking confused and growling at people like he's auditioning for a dog food commercial. His constant brooding and dramatic poses make you question if he's actually a badass mutant, or just really into bad boy stereotypes. Halle Berry's Storm is the token weather-manipulating hero who delivers her lines with all the enthusiasm of someone reading the phone book. Her relationship with the other mutants is so forced and cliché that you'll be left wondering if they're actually a team, or just really bad at pretending to care. Her frequent use of dramatic weather effects is more likely to induce eye rolls than awe, making you question if she's actually a skilled mutant or just really into weather-themed party tricks. Patrick Stewart's Professor X is the wise mentor with a penchant for long-winded speeches and dramatic pauses. His constant use of telepathy to solve every problem is so heavy-handed that you'll be left wondering if he's actually a powerful psychic or just really into mind games. His interactions with the other mutants are more likely to bore than inspire, making you question if he's actually invested in their plight or just really good at delivering motivational speeches. Brian Cox's William Stryker is the villain who's so obviously evil that he might as well be wearing a neon sign that says, "Bad guy." His plan to exterminate mutants using a mind control serum is about as subtle as a sledgehammer, and his constant sneering and over-the-top antics make you question if he's actually a rogue scientist or just really into playing the bad guy in a children's cartoon. The dialogue in X-Men 2 is a masterclass in how to write a script that's both iconic and painfully cringeworthy, filled with lines that have become legendary for all the wrong reasons. The film's attempts at blending tension and humor are so heavy-handed that you'll be left wondering if the writers were aiming for a serious superhero film or just really bad at subtlety. Hugh Jackman's constant stream of gruff one-liners and dramatic declarations might be amusing if they didn't feel so forced, making you question if he's actually trying to save the world or just really into bad action movie tropes. His frequent use of phrases like, "I'm the best there is at what I do," are more likely to induce eye rolls than applause. Halle Berry's attempts at delivering meaningful dialogue are undermined by the film's insistence on turning every conversation into a melodramatic soap opera, making you wonder if she's actually a skilled mutant or just really into dramatic pauses. Her constant stream of vague prophecies and whispered confessions are more likely to make you cringe than care. Brian Cox's villainous monologues are so over-the-top and cliched that you'll be left questioning if he's actually trying to intimidate the X-Men or just really bad at delivering lines with a straight face. His constant sneering and melodramatic declarations are more likely to make you laugh than fear for the fate of the mutant. Action sequences. A chaotic carnival of clumsy combat, The action sequences in X-Men 2 are a dizzying blend of chaotic choreography and over-the-top stunts that make you feel like you're watching a particularly violent episode of a Saturday morning cartoon. The film's various battles and chases are filled with improbable stunts and ridiculous set pieces, turning everyday objects into weapons in a way that's more baffling than exciting. The infamous mansion attack scene, where Wolverine single-handedly takes on a squad of heavily armed soldiers, is supposed to be a thrilling spectacle. Instead, it feels more like a poorly rendered video game cutscene, with Wolverine's improbable stunts and the soldiers' relentless incompetence defying the laws of physics and common sense. The constant use of slow-motion shots makes every action scene feel like it's happening in a vat of molasses, adding to the movie's already glacial pace. The final showdown at Stryker's base is a mess of flashing lights and CGI that looks more like a particularly trippy screensaver than an epic battle between good and evil. The fight scenes are so filled with random explosions and improbable gadgetry that you'll be left questioning if the characters are actually fighting for their lives or just really into pyrotechnics. Special effects, a visual feast of flawed fantasies. The special effects in X-Men 2 are a mix of impressive visuals and laughably bad CGI that looks like it was thrown together by a team of animators who got lost in the dark and had to finish their work on a deadline. The film's various depictions of mutant powers and futuristic technology are filled with flashy effects that are meant to wow the audience, but often come off as a distraction from the film's flimsy plot and wooden acting. The CGI is particularly jarring in the scenes involving the various mutant abilities, which look more like rejected designs from a low-budget sci-fi movie than cutting-edge superhero technology. The film's reliance on special effects to tell its story often feels like a crutch, with the flashy visuals doing little to mask the film's many narrative shortcomings. Logic and plot holes, a Swiss cheese of a story. X-Men 2 is a baffling parade of logical inconsistencies and plot holes that make you wonder if anyone involved in the production actually read the script. The idea that a secret government agency could develop a mind control serum to exterminate mutants is absurd enough, but the film's internal logic is so inconsistent that you'll be left questioning if they're actually trying to tell a coherent story or just really bad at superhero fiction. The logistics of the X-Men's operations are equally laughable. How do they manage to navigate the complexities of mutant politics and international espionage with all the skill of seasoned operatives, despite having no prior experience? Why does the government keep sending their top agents to fight mutants without any backup? And how is it that the X-Men manage to survive every improbable stunt with barely a scratch? The film's resolution is equally perplexing. The final battle with William Stryker wraps up in a way that's both predictable and unsatisfying, leaving you wondering if the whole movie was just an elaborate setup for a particularly flashy fireworks display. The film's lack of any clear message or theme makes it feel more like a collection of random events than a cohesive story, leading to a conclusion. Technology, a gaggle of gadgets and goofiness. The technology in X-Men 2 is a collection of absurd gadgets and gizmos that look like they were designed by a team of sci-fi enthusiasts with a penchant for chrome and flashing lights. From the Cerebro machine, which looks more like something out of a bad Halloween store than cutting-edge mutant detection technology, to the various high-tech weapons and devices, the film's technology is so over the top that you'll be left wondering if they're actually trying to impress you or just really into novelty gadgets. The Cerebro machine in particular is a device that's supposed to be both terrifying and awe-inspiring, but it ends up looking more like a flashy toy than a fearsome piece of technology. The idea that a single machine could allow someone to track every mutant on the planet is absurd enough. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Quirky Critic signing out.